Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's with your girl Victoria, aka Vicky, and I just want to say welcome once again to my channel. So, before I get into my next part of my story time, which will be, I believe, on this part of the story time, it will be the conclusion. So, guys, before I get into it, I just want to thank you guys for subscribing to my video. Thank you for all my new subscribers. Thank you for those who have commented on my videos. Guys, I really appreciate all the comments, yeah? And I'm just loving the support right now. So thank you guys. And for all those who have not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Subscribe and tell someone about Victoria's Reality Corner, okay? Because guys, I want to grow this platform. I want it to be a family, and and I just need people to know about me. So please share the videos. Press the notification bell when you subscribe, that when I send out a video, you'll get a notification. And also to like up the videos. And remember to comment. Yes, guys? So here we go. Now we're going to get into this last part of this story time. So let me do a bit of recap. And for those who have not yet watched the last video, you can go over to the channel and watch, so you can catch up to know, to know where I am in the story. So my story is about my first time traveling as a child from the UK to Jamaica. And so far, you've heard all the escapade that has gone on, with the ship, with me being sick, with the length of time it took to reach Jamaica. And then we finally reached Jamaica, got onto our transportation to take us to our destination, and there was nowhere for us to lay our heads. Yeah? So in a nutshell, that's what happened. So I'm gonna get into the video now, and I think the last time I left off, we woke up as a family in this new environment. Yes, guys. So it was raining the night before, we had nowhere to sleep, and we finally got somewhere that we could rest for the night. So in the morning, I think some discussions went on, and my dad was told that he could basically take that place temporarily till he could, probably find somewhere more suitable for the family. So that's what we did. So I can remember waking up and my mom sweeping out the place, dusting, setting up the beds, because as I said, we came with furniture. And I remember the bunk beds. Yeah, so my mom and my dad, they were putting up the beds, and I think other little furnitures that they were putting out, and trying to make the place as comfortable as possible, because it's gonna be a home for a while, and we don't know how long. So they were, fixing up the place, fixing up the kitchen, so my mom can begin to cook and all these little things. So for us, that was all that was happening in the morning. So as the day progressed, and we began to go outside, we are starting to investigate this new area. And we couldn't go out to the front because, as we said, we were in the back of the yard. So we were just there trying to make ourselves comfortable. But guys, it's Jamaica, and it's fresh blood. Especially where I'm concerned. Guys, the mosquitoes start to eat me alive. The mosquitoes started to eat me alive. I was like, I was crying, because I've never experienced this type of insect bites, and the itching and the wailing of the skin, and the body breaking out in bumps and stuff like this. And it happened to me quite early. So with all of that, I had to be content with that, not understanding what was happening to me and all these things. So in in the following weeks to come, I can remember my parents trying to, find where somewhere else um permanently to live. So that would be like, I could remember my dad saying that he would take us to where he came from, where he was born. So I remember we took a trip one day to that location, and it was up in the hills. So for anyone who knows Spanish Town and knows St. Catherine and knows Spanish Town, there's another is it district, I would call it. But anyway, we'd come out of Spanish Town and go up on the hills to this place called Kitson Town. So Kitson Town now was where basically going up, out of Spanish Town and going up into the hills, and Kitson Town was red dirt, real red dirt. And that is where my father originally came from. So we went up to, before Kitson Town was I'm jumping the gun a little. Kitson Town is where we ended up living for basically most of our years in Jamaica. But before I get to that end, we went to Top Mountain, and Top Mountain in that same area is where my dad originally came from. So he was born in Top Mountain, so it's a little way up more from Kitson Town. And so we went up there with my dad, and I think by this time my dad got his vehicle, because his vehicle was like a I think it was like maybe like a 7-seater vehicle. It was a Commer van. It was a red Commer van. I never forget that van. And I think by this time my dad got the van. So, he sorted out the license and all the paperwork so that he could drive. So we were going to visit now where he came from. So we went up to Kitson Top Mountain, and it's red dirt, and we went to where he was born. My gosh, guys, this was like remote. This was like something that I would probably say as a girl watching Tarzan in the jungle. This is how I could describe this area. It was bush, bush upon bush, bad roads, real bad roads compared to Spanish Town. Real bad roads, red dirt. Again, for me, the funny smell of the place. And it was really bushy, and the roads were really narrow. So our dad took us to this location where he explained to us that this is where he was born, this is where he grew up. So we went to the yard that he was born and grew up. So guys, in that yard now, there was an old house. It was like maybe like a 1-bedroom house, but it was all like kind of partly demolished, because it's been like years since, I think that's where his mom lived, and then she died, and then it left unkept. So but my dad could identify and say, yes, this is where this is where he lived, and this was the front area, this was the kitchen, no, not the kitchen area, this was where they slept, because they had an outside kitchen, and he could show us like the outside pit toilet. Guys, so yeah, all these things, and it was like, wow, again, storytelling for us. And it was like very, we were very intrigued, and said, this is where your mommy lived. And he explained to us that yes, and then there were graves in the yard. So he was showing us where his mother was buried. He showed us where his grandmother was buried, and other relatives. So there was like graves upon graves in that yard. And then he because I think when all this plan with the housing thing fell through, he had in his mind that he would take us and we would live probably there. But guys, there was no house. It was demolished. He didn't have no money to build any home. And so that was a no-no. That couldn't happen. That couldn't happen. And tell you the truth, no, I was like, mm-mm. And so my dad decided, okay, this is not suitable. That idea of coming here to live is not suitable. So, we went around. He introduced us to, family members and stuff like that. And I tell you guys, every single soul in that top mountain, we were related to. We were cousins to every jackman. I'm telling you, I never see a place like that's your cousin, that's your second cousin, and my dad was just explaining, and they were explaining on all these things. So yeah, so we were there, and until we left, and we went back to Spanish Town. So shortly after that, I can remember, my parents started to seek out schooling for us, and eventually they got us into school in Spanish Town, and I can remember the name of that school. It was Macaulay's All Age School in Scarlet Road. So to go to school, we'd had to walk on a train track kind of thing and cross over some big highway to go to this school. So yeah, so we were kind of getting settled now and going to school. And then across from the where we lived, there was a big cemetery, and I don't think it's there anymore. They call it Number 5 Cemetery. So yeah, so we live across from a cemetery, and life began. So it took some great adjustment for the family, for my mom, for my dad, because my mom originally came from Portland. That's where she came from. But for some reason, I don't know, my dad wasn't interested to go to Portland, and didn't seem like, it seems like anywhere my dad wanted to go, that's where my mom had her mind to go. Because Portland was, as you know, is a very beautiful parish, and after a while going to visit family in Portland, I preferred Portland. But anyway, we were in St. Catherine. So guys, so that kind of end up that story part of us traveling from the UK to Jamaica. I kind of gave you a background of, what happened, and, so in stories to come, it will be now me telling you about us growing up in Jamaica, life starting, us adjusting to a new environment, a new lifestyle in Jamaica, which wasn't easy for us to adjust to, but we are resilient, and we did. So the next story time will be about now us beginning our new lifestyle in Jamaica. So guys, as I sat telling this story, and every time I come on and I give you part 1, part 2, and part 3, it really made me think about my parents at the time, and how they were, how how they must have been thinking, or not thinking, how this would probably all work out for us as a family. Because looking at it, my dad made some vital decisions, crucial decisions, and not really thinking it through. And in life, we all tends to make big mistakes, make decisions that affect us gravely in the end, that have impact on our children or our family negatively. And that was not the intention, because the intention for my dad was for us to go back to Jamaica, for him to grow his children in a country that he loved, and in a country that he said is much better for us. But in hindsight, I didn't think my dad really planned this thing through. And in saying that, he didn't have a contingency plan. Yeah, he did not think about what if he came and it wasn't what he expected, what would we do? He did not have he did not really organize properly the living conditions. And looking back at it, it's just like when you going through certain kind of mental breakdown or depression, that's not the time to make certain decisions in life. You know, when you're not whole, when you're not thinking on a, when you're thinking out of your emotions, you're not really thinking like wisely. I'm trying to pick my words. You're not really thinking wisely, and you just want to do something out of your emotions. Because at the time, looking back now, my dad was depressed. He wanted to go home, and in his mind he thought that he was doing the best thing for the family, but really he was only trying to probably satisfy this pain that he was feeling, this loss. Because at the end of the day, my dad left Jamaica at a very young age. He left, he was one of those people that came over here in the Windrush, so my dad came to the UK on a ship, on a boat, basically, with his uncle. And I can remember my dad saying he left he left Jamaica at a young age. I think he was probably about 19 years when he left Jamaica to come to England, and then coming and seeing the conditions what they had to live in England. It wasn't nice conditions. Because I'll get into that part of the story sometime, as we go along. But it wasn't a nice condition. It wasn't what they expected. This place that they heard that was full of opportunities, and they thought that the roads were paved with gold and all this. It was nothing like what they expected. So I think that all impacted on my dad's health, where eventually it took a toll on him. Then he lost his mom. Then his brother that was with him, he went to Jamaica. And guys, I didn't tell you that when we went to Jamaica, and my dad found his brother was living in the bushes. Basically living in the bushes. All the British money that he went down with was rotten in the bush with him. My uncle was basically, mentally ill. And that's how my dad found his brother. So it was a hard thing for them to go through. So, based on, we have to be very careful how we make decisions, our mental health, when we are going through, certain things in our lives, to get help, to talk to someone, seek help. Don't make decisions, irrationally. And then my mom, she was just supporting him. Because I can remember mom saying that, her friends would say, Katie, you sure what you do? Make your husband go out there first and find place. And then if him like it and him set up himself, then he come back for you and the kids. And my mom said, no, she's going with him. She's going with her husband, So in a way, I can understand that as well. Because if my dad went out there and he didn't like it, or he liked it, probably there wouldn't be enough money for him to send for us. So maybe he was looking on it like that. So he decided, you know what, I'm just going to take everybody one time. But really, maybe if he did come really think this thing through, had concrete plans with whosoever he was planning with in terms of the home, then, things could have turned out differently. But anyway, guys, we overcame, and we, settled in Jamaica. And for that now, I've come to the end of that part of the story. So guys, I want you to like up the video if you like it. Tell me what you liked about the video. If there's any questions you want to ask me, write it in the comment below. If there's any questions you want to ask me, if there's anything that you identified with in this video, write it in the comment section too. And, let me know that when I come back on, we can have a discussion. And Yeah. So I just want to thank you for listening. Like up the video, subscribe to my channel, guys, and also share the video. And I will see you guys again in my next video. I love you guys, and just have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Spend time with your family. Love on your family. And, just listen out. Watch for the next video, and if you've subscribed, you will get the notification when you press the notification bell. Thank you, guys. Love you. Mwah.